Workshop's been a critical design partner from the very beginning. Really everybody who touched this movie over there, they've been thinking about Ghost in the Shell and internalizing it so they can sort of stay loyal to the source material, but at the same time create something new.
Our design team, the original material has been so inspirational to them in their careers, and the opportunity was beyond some of their wildest imagination.
It was a group of very artistic and scientific and gifted people in rooms just talking and drawing and chewing the fat, and we kind of start with these huge worlds of ideas.
People are thinking very heavily about how to bring his project to life and how to take his ideas and really run with them and supercharge them.
We'd throw work on the wall and we'd start to draw and talk about and understand parts of the world.
Rupert was intent on reshuffling the world powers so that you had a lot of influences from Africa, from the United States, from Great Britain, all in this big melting pot. Everything from the cybernetics that people have, to vehicles, to advertising.
What are these guys? What does the greengrocer have that's kind of, what is he using to cyberize himself?
A very, very important thing for us was to try to define in the future what groups of people, what subgroups there were, what they are doing in this world, and how they interface with technology. Just to try to make an authentic looking future.
It'd be nice if you see skeleton, ballistic gel, and then the kind of sleeve on top.
The Kuze character is a tricky thing to design because you're designing a villain, and Rupert was really clear he wanted that personality to shine.
They kind of arrived at this idea that, just because something goes in the future doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to absolutely 100% lose the artisan touch.
This is where we're at with the, yeah, that looks good. What are we actually making this out of eventually?
The fact that we were 5 minutes down the road from Richard Taylor and his group, the fact that we could keep examining things and questioning things and working to make them so unique, that was a giant boon to the production and to Rupert.
We've utilised reelers, the actors' face cast, and then created an absolutely symmetrical representation of her. This is the automaton head. This character gets shot and the Major confronts her and her face opens up, revealing what's inside.
So when the geisha face opens and when it's open in the morgue, that's something that was all designed, 3D printed, cut, hand-painted, polished. It's incredibly intricate and beautiful prop.
We're trying to fit the neck to the body. The issue is everything's a little bit flexible, so as you bolt everything up, it changes the positioning slightly.
It doesn't close anymore.
Right.
And go.
Designing the Thermoptic suit was a collaboration. Mark Shea did some initial sketches and we carried those on.
And her suit is basically a thicker, it's a thickening of the existing understructure.
If she's just a machine body, then you can imagine this thing just plugging right into her nervous system and she's feeling through it. A lot of materials testing went into the Thermoptic suit. Silicon's a really hard material to work with at the
Oh wow, what a clever bastards. When Scarlett comes tomorrow, I'll come and it'd be nice to just show her. Because this stuff's really about getting into character.
This is a specific bed set up in the Hanker ward, but in this case we have a special head rig that goes in the back here that the Major lies back in, so it looks like the Major's head is opening up. All of the prosthetics on the show, incredibly complex prosthetics, integrating the robotics of this manufactured futuristic world with the cyber enhancements and the human augmentation prosthetic makeups, all put together by Jason Doherty and Kim Doherty and their team in the workshop.
What I'm doing is just creating a kind of skin texture that will run up to the technology and help it be integrated into the skin. We'll use a new appliance every day, so we'll have to run quite a few copies of all of these.
Initiate Project 2571.
Our partners at Weta Workshop, Richard Taylor, his whole team, have created the shelling sequence for us where the Major's character comes to life.
It's so iconic in sci-fi film history, and we campaigned long and hard that it could be done as a physical effect.
We approached this build from a 3D modeling point of view, so because we had such fantastic designs up front, we were able to go through and basically break this down into all its different components. And I think there ended up being about 1,400 individual pieces, and they all need to mesh together and fit together perfectly. The skeleton itself took about 5 months to build.
It's been a bit of a learning curve, trying to understand this whole structure, basically building a human body.
We're shooting the 1.5 scale here. We upped the scale of it to try and get a lot more definition out of the finish, but also to fit our servo packs and everything in there. The next phase of manufacturing is the ballistic gel layer. Everything is completely